So once upon a time, there was an old woman and an old man. The old woman had a daughter from her first marriage, and the old man had a daughter from his first marriage. The old woman's daughter was lazy, squeamish, and bad at heart, but because she was her mother's daughter, she was pampered, leaving all the burden on the old man's daughter. The old man's daughter, however, was beautiful, hardworking, obedient, and good at heart. But this good girl was hated by both her evil sister and her stepmother. Luckily, she was a stubborn and patient girl. One day, while the old man's daughter was in the field working, she hears her mother's voice yelling at her, telling her to get home right away. As soon as the girl gets home, the old woman yells at her, saying that she's come late. No matter how hard she tries, the old man's daughter couldn't do anything to please her stepmother. Then the old man, seeing his daughter so bitter, calls her and says to her, "My dear daughter, this is what my wife keeps telling me, that you are foul-mouthed and lazy, and it is no longer possible for you to stay at my house. That is why you should go out into the world, so that there will no longer be so much scandal in this house because of you. But I advise you, as a father that I am to you, that wherever you go, you should be obedient, gentle, and hardworking. Because in my house there was parental mercy in the middle. But with strangers, who knows what people you will encounter, and they will not be able to endure as much as we have endured." Then the poor girl, seeing that the old woman and her daughter want to chase her away by any means, kisses her father's hand, and with tears in her eyes sets out into the world, moving away from her parental home, not hoping to ever return. And she walked as she walked along a road until, by chance, a sick and weak puppy came across her. And when she saw the girl, she said to her, "Beautiful and diligent girl, take pity on me and take care of me, so that I too may get well someday." Then the girl took pity on her, and taking the puppy, washed it and took care of it very well. Then continued on her way, being satisfied in her soul that she had been able to do a good deed. She did not walk far and saw a beautiful and blooming pear, but full of caterpillars in all parts. The pear, as it sees the girl, says, "Beautiful and diligent girl, take care of me and clean me of the caterpillars, so that I too may get well someday." The diligent girl, as she was, cleaned the pear of dried brushwood and caterpillars with great care, and then continued on her way. And as she walked further, she saw a moldy and abandoned well. The well then said, "Beautiful and diligent girl, take care of me and I will be fine someday." The girl cleaned the well and took care of it very well, then continued on her way. And as she walked further and further, she saw an unglued oven ready to collapse. The oven, as it saw the girl, said, "Beautiful and diligent girl, glue me and take care of me, so I will be fine someday." The girl got to work. She pressed clay, glued the oven, leveled it, and took care of it, then continued on her way. Walking day and night, she got lost, but one day, early in the morning, passing through a dark forest, she came across a very beautiful clearing, and in the clearing, she saw a small house shaded by some lush willows. And when she approached that house, an old woman greeted the girl gently and said to her, "Yes, what are you doing in these places, child, and who are you?" "I'm a poor girl without parents, and I'm looking to serve, but not knowing anyone, walking from place to place. I got lost, and I came to your house, and I ask you to take me into service." "Poor girl," said the old woman, "I am Saint Sunday. Serve me today, and be assured that tomorrow you will not leave my house empty-handed. Wash my children, who are sleeping now, and feed them, then make me food, and when I return from church, I will find the food neither cold nor hot, only good to eat." Then the old woman sets off for church, and the girl gets down to work. First, she prepares a trough. Then she goes outside and starts shouting, "Children, come to your mother to wash you." Then the yard is filled with small and large animals. The girl's not scared and takes them one by one and takes care of them as best she can. Then she starts cooking. When Saint Sunday came from church and saw her children washed and all the chores well done, she was filled with joy, and after sitting at the table, she told the girl to go up to the attic and choose a box from there, that she wants as payment, but not to open it until she gets to her parents' house. The girl goes up to the attic and sees a lot of boxes there, some older and uglier, others newer and more beautiful. But she, not being greedy, chooses the oldest and ugliest of all. Saint Sunday blesses the girl, who takes the box in her suitcase and sets off for her parents' house. On the way, he finds the oven she is taken care of, full of baked and browned pies. The girl eats the pies, then sets off further. When she sees the fountain she is taken care of, which was full of water as clear as a tear, sweet and cold as ice. On the rim of the fountain were 2 silver glasses, with which she drank the water, cooled down, took the glasses, and set off further. Walking further, he meets the pear she is taken care of, loaded with pears yellow as ripe wax that were also sweet as honey. The pear, seeing her face, bent its branches down, and she ate the pears and took as many as she needed on the way. From there, walking further, she meets the puppy, who was now very strong and beautiful, and around her neck she wore a gold necklace that she gave to the girl as a sign of the care she had taken. From here, the girl kept walking forward until she reached her parents' house. When the old man saw her, his eyes filled with tears and his heart with joy. The girl took out the gold necklace and the glasses and gave them to her father, then opening the chest to gather countless horse, studs, herds of cattle, and flocks of sheep came out of the chest, so that the old man immediately felt younger seeing so much wealth. The old woman could no longer bear her spite and envy. The old woman's daughter then took heart in her teeth and said, "Let it go, mother, the world is not robbed of riches. I will go and bring you even more." And as she says, she sets off with spite, crashing and crashing. She too goes as far as she can along the same road where the old man's daughter had been. She too meets the weak and sick little dog. She too comes across the pear full of caterpillars, the muddy and dry and abandoned well, the loose oven and almost falling apart. But when the little dog, the pear, the well, and the oven asked her to take care of them, she answers them with spite and mockery. "Of course not. I'm not going to make my little daddy and my little mommy's hands. Have you had many servants like me?" Then everyone, knowing that it would be easier for someone to get milk from a barren cow than to owe you a pampered and lazy girl, let her go on her way in peace and did not ask her for any help. And as she went on, she also arrived at Saint Sunday. But here too she behaved rudely, impudently, and foolishly. Instead of making good and proper dishes and praising Saint Sunday's children as the old man's daughter had praised them for their goodness, she scalded them all so that they screamed and ran away madly from the sting and pain. Then she made the dishes so smoked, burnt, and soggy that there was no way anyone could take them into their mouths or even come close to them. And when Saint Sunday came home from church, she put her hands on her head with what she found at home. But Saint Sunday, gentle and forgiving, did not want to bother her mind with a sterlibatic and lazy girl like this, but told her to go up to the attic to choose a box from there that she liked and to go to God's reward. Then the girl went up and chose the newest and most beautiful box, for she liked to take as much as possible and what was best and most beautiful, but she did not like to do good work. Then as she came down from the attic with the box, she did not go to receive a good day and blessing from the Holy Sunday, but started as if from an empty house and kept going forward. And she walked with her heels creaking for fear that the Holy Sunday would change her mind and set off after her to catch up with her and take the box. And when she reached the oven, there were beautiful pies in it. But when she approaches to take some of them and to satisfy her desire, the fire burns her and she cannot take it. At the well she did the same. The silver cups of course were there, and the well was full of water up to the brim. But when the girl wanted to put her hand on the cup and take some water, the cups immediately sank. The water in the well dried up in an instant, and the girl with thirst dried up. When, by the way, the pear, of course, seemed to be beaten with a shovel by the many pears he had. But do you think the girl had the chance to taste any of them? No, because the pear became 1,000 times taller than it was, even though its branches had reached the clouds. And then, having nothing else to take, the girl started to pull the pears. But as soon as she pulled one, another grew in its place. And so the girl spent a lot of time pulling pears from the tree without ever being able to enjoy the fruit. And then she started walking ahead and met a little dog there. It barked at her and showed its teeth, but she still remembered how to handle animals. She took a biscuit from her pocket and threw it to the dog, hoping that it would calm down and let her stroke it. But the dog did not take the biscuit, and although it did not bark anymore, it still showed its teeth. So the girl got scared and wanted to run away. Then she saw that the dog had a golden necklace around its neck, and thinking that the dog wouldn't let her get close anyway, she reached out and grabbed it. The dog felt the pain, bit her and broke her fingers, and wouldn't let her touch her. The girl was now biting her mother's and father's fingers out of spite and shame, but there was nothing she could do. Finally, she arrived home with great joy to her mother, but even here they were not happy with their wealth. For when she opened the box, a multitude of dragons came out of it and immediately ate the old woman, the girl, and disappeared with the box and everything. And the old man remained peaceful. With countless riches, he married his daughter to a good and hard-working man.